Unbelievable news from Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers, NFC North. Breaking news, man. This is just absolutely insane what was just pulled off. Eric and I talking about this very trade this morning. My immediate thoughts was, man, go ahead, do it. Do it, Packers, do it. You're going to scuttle your team for the next 10 years. They're obviously trying to go all in with one player. So here's what we're going to find out real soon. Is one player, one edge rusher, going to make the difference? Is it that one player that you were away from winning a Super Bowl? Is Micah Parsons that guy? Well, for the Green Bay Packers, they better hope so. They better hope he's that guy. Because I know for a lot of Lions fans who wanted Max and Za'Darius and Trey and Clowney and Judon and Parsons, and the list goes on, they're all gone. But now you're going to find out in our own division, is Micah Parsons going to make the difference? And my answer is a definitive hell no. I don't think it's going to. I just had a chance looking at Twitter for a very brief second. I happened to be in the shower listening to Sirius XM as they break the news. And obviously I said a few audible things in the shower. And Megan comes to check on me like, you all right? Like, what's going on in there? I'm like, oh, no, nothing. Just crazy stuff happened in the NFL. That's all. She literally thought that I wasn't okay. I'm not okay with it. I mean, I guess I am and I'm not. I don't think the Packers are going to be any better because they got Micah Parsons. I really don't believe so. Did the defense get a little bit better? Hell yeah, it did. He's a very good football player. But you still have to beat Penei Sewell. Right? You still have to beat Taylor Decker. What sucks is this happens a week before the first game. Now, here's what's going to happen. This is something that we've spoken about a lot. Micah Parsons has been injured, right? He's been holding out because he's had an injury. Couldn't suit up for the Dallas Cowboys because he had an injury. But now that money is about to enter that bank account, how much are you willing to bet he passes his physical tomorrow and he's ready to go week 1? How much? I guarantee it. It's a rock lock. You better believe it. It's a rock lock. Micah Parsons is going to be healthy within the matter of 48 hours. You bet your bottom dollar. Immediate reactions. That's what I would like to know. Here's the craziest. I just saw a name in the chat. Aiden Hutchinson. Is he going to get $50 million? Can't do it. I'm sorry. Look, I love Aiden. I think he's a great football player. I think it's taken him a few seasons to finally get up over that hurdle, and we just don't know what he is yet this season until we see him. From what we've heard, from what I've seen, honestly, at practice, but not in a full game, he looks great. But $50 million? Parsons just got $47 million a year. The record was like $42 million. That's all you had to pay him was $42. Why did you tack on an extra $5 million, Green Bay? Was that to force the hand of the Detroit Lions to not be able to pay Aiden Hutchinson, or forcing the hand? I'm seeing a little like cat and mouse game here. Beyond bringing a player in to make your team better, beyond bringing a player in to make your team better, is there a little bit of gamesmanship here? If you make it too expensive to keep Aiden Hutchinson, then that means it's going to be too expensive to end up keeping Jahmyr Gibbs or Sam Laporta or Jack Campbell or Brian Branch or somebody else, right? Or Jameson Williams. And I'm sure the Green Bay Packers are looking across the pond with some really big binoculars at Allen Park and saying, man, I sure wish that they didn't have that many weapons on that offense. How can we help them not have all these weapons? Here's an idea. Let's way overpay a defensive end so that when they have to pay their defensive end, they either can't keep them or they can't keep one of those other 5 weapons that I call the Magnificent Seven. which we're going to be talking about tonight at 7 o'clock. The Magnificent 7 at 7 o'clock. I think it was routed for 6, but it's going to be booted to 7 since we had to come in and do this. Oh, man. This is insane. It's insane. Now, let me get the full details for you guys. At least what we know already. Oh, boy. Micah Parsons, man, shipped to Green Bay. Blockbuster trade, the Herculean trade that they said it was going to take. $180 million deal. 4 years. $120 million fully guaranteed. So that's $30 million a year, automatic. The Cowboys receive 2 first-round picks in the trade and more that has yet to be announced by Ian Rappaport. So what was announced earlier is that it was a 4-year, $188 million deal. And what was also announced earlier is that it was $136 million guaranteed. So there's a little bit of, confusion, I guess, among Pelissero and Ian Rappaport. But at $47 million a year, you just broke the bank. I mean, you set the record, which would have taken 2 more seasons to get. That was a 2027 number, not a 26 number, right? If you look at the trajectory of how defensive ends have been paid. Now, last season, Parsons had 12 sacks, 43 tackles. What was his best year? And did the Packers run a 3-4? Am I missing something here? I should know because I just did a full preview on them. No, they're running a 4-3. No, I'm sorry. They are running a 3-4. No, they're running a 4-3. In 2024, that's right. They switched. They switched to a 4-3. So Micah Parsons is most likely going to be like an outside linebacker. He'll be up on the line too, or up, off ball. Is he going to be out on the right side? Right side of the offense? Or I'm sorry. Yeah, no, left side of the offense, right side of the defense. This is an interesting play. I mean, having a playmaker like that on the field, it certainly helps. And see, the Cowboys are coming from a 3-4 defense. Here's what I'm hoping, man. Look, I know that Parsons is a hell of a football player. I'm just hoping that this scheme screws him up. That's what I'm hoping. Unless the Packers are going to implement some sort of a scheme change, I'm hoping that this scheme screws him up. He's been in a 3-4 the majority of his career, right? Even going back to college. So it'll be really, 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 really interesting to see what happens. My goodness. What is it going to cost Green Bay in the long run, says Trace. Let me get the chat pulled over here. Let me see what you guys are saying here. All right. I'm just going to start from the most recent. Rob E1 says, but if Green Bay is smart, they'll develop him into some coverage skills. Good point. Yep. Let's see. Gary's going to be over Sewell, Parsons over Decker. See, that's the problem, is Parsons over Decker. So, look, Decker's good. He's not elite anymore. He's good. He's not elite. I think the Lions need to go out and find a much better left tackle after this season, but they probably didn't expect this either. So this could have just thrown a huge monkey wrench into the Lions' plans for 2025, and that's my first question to y'all tonight. How big of a problem is this for us? There's 2 games a year that we got to face these guys. Is a split okay? Or do you want to run the table like we do every year? I mean, we want to run the table. Now that we're actually winning football games, of course we want to run the table. But are you okay with a split? Are you happy with a split? My God, this cup that I got, all it does is spill. It has got to be the worst lip on this Tervis cup. It just throws stuff all over me. Can't even drink my apple juice in peace. Goff quick release will break the Packers. It has to. And, look, Parsons has never done anything to us. And that's the one thing that I'm not worried about is Parsons in the last couple of seasons that we faced him, which thankfully we have a lot of tape on the guy, right? We've gone up against the Packers the last 3 seasons. We have a ton of tape on him. The Lions are good from that perspective. What they don't have is Frank Ragnow. And you could hear that all over, the St. Brown podcast the other night. Penei Sewell was, you could really tell that he was in his feelings about that. He was in his feelings, man. He's hurt. He's still hurt about that whole situation. They all are. How is the trade not illegal tampering? I guess you'd have to frame it for me. What part of it would be tampering, I guess? Bo Booth, did Green Bay pick up Parsons? Yes, they did. The trade was just announced 30 minutes ago, right around 5 p.m. Yeah, Parsons has been straight up handled by our guys. Yeah, the only problem is we're not playing the Packers now. Don't expect to either. But this will help the Packers rebuild. I think it was a smart move. He just offloaded a major contract, and he just got a couple of first-round picks. Now, this morning, I believe the play was 2 first-round picks, a second, and a fifth, and possibly a player. And it's the player that I have not heard or seen yet, if there's a player involved. I cannot see Parsons in this ugly-ass green and yellow. I really can't. Take a look at this one. NFL.com reports it's 188. And, defensive lineman Kenny Clark. He got shipped out. Now, that's good news because Kenny Clark was a thorn in our side, man. Kenny's always been a pain in the ass. Dallas Cowboys are trading all-pro edge rusher Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers in exchange for a compensation package, 2 first-round draft picks, and Kenny Clark, per Ian Rappaport. Upon arriving in Green Bay, he will sign a $188 million deal, and he will mysteriously be healthy. Healthy. You guys remember when we were talking about that earlier this year, how these guys hold out with hamstrings? Like Anzo. Come on, Anzo. You held out with a hamstring. You got a bump in pay, and all of a sudden you're back on the practice field. Like, I ain't hating. I'm just saying. Like, we get it. We get it. Green Bay gave up way too much. Absolutely. So the 2 first-round picks. Let me look at the Packers' future. I don't think they have 2 in any one year. So this would be the next 2 years. Or it could be like next year and then a 27 or 28, I mean. $2026 they have one. 27 they have one. 28 they have one. So they won't have a first round pick the next 2 years. At least. And see, and I think that's, I mean, ask yourself, like if you were the Packers, ask yourself, do you have enough? Do you have enough on your squad right now to compete? They don't even have a receiver that can catch a football. And they're going to bring in Parsons. Like, this is a Ryan Poles deal. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a Packers deal. This is not how they operate usually. This is insanity. Yeah, he was on a team the Lions beat 47-9. Does anybody remember how many snaps he played in that game? I don't remember. You know what? Forget this top. It's just going to go all over me again. I like my other Tervis cup, man. My new coffee cup. My Lions cup's great. I'm just dehydrated, man. Apple juice. For some reason, it just makes it feel all better. Green Bay sells out. Already sells out. Why this? Yeah. This is not a typical Green Bay at all. Bo Booth says he's holding onto his sides laughing. Survivalist Amber and family says you have to play against defensive ends every game. Why does it matter? The one named Micah Parsons plays for Green Bay. Not following the question. Not following the question, Amber. Survivalist Amber. I love it. You out there in the woods, Amber? Is that what you do? You homestead it, or you out there with some sticks and twine and stuff making fire? Like, what do? You teach people on YouTube? We need the Survivor song. That's what we need. That's Megan's favorite show, man. Can never miss that. Never miss a season of Survivor. No worries. Parsons has hurt the... we already read that one. Moldy cheese. Packers are a legit threat, says Nick P. Kenny Clark for Parsons as well. Yes. Amber was on Naked and Afraid. I don't know. No idea. She can answer that. Oh boy, you guys, come on now. 10-8 season, says Ned Kent. For the Packers or for the Lions? We don't play 18 games, but I mean, okay. We ran straight at Parsons and he couldn't stop us. Let's take a look at the last couple years of the Parsons mystery here. Parsons PFF stats. We'll pull up some of his other stats too. Man, this stupid thing. Ever since I moved it and changed mics, it does not want to stay up. I love it, King SJ. He says, hello all, and I don't care, FTP. And yes, good yeah, there's a good take in the chat by U of M Daddy. Says, poor Eric, man, he's going to be hearing from all of his buddies up there in the UP. Okay, premium stats here by player. Wow. 188 million. Man, this really just screwed the Lions with Aiden Hutchinson. That's the big thing. That's the bigger conversation. So, yes, you're going to see some videos. I guarantee you're going to see some videos because this has implications, man. All right, against the Lions. Did he even play last year against the Lions? Oh, he didn't. He didn't play against the Lions last year? Interesting. I could have sworn he was in the game. He is not on the 2024 roster he didn't play in 2024 against the Lions according to this. Washington, Philly, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Cincy. The Giants, Washington, Houston, Philly, New York Giants, Baltimore, New England, and Cleveland. 2023. Let's go to 23. It was a 73.3 overall, 69.8 in the run defense, 55.4 in tackling, and a 73.1 in the pass rush. He ended up with 5 total pressures, no sacks, 1 hit, 4 hurries, and 6 total tackles, 1 missed tackle, which per 14 was that? Yeah, 1 missed tackle. His average is a 92.7 in 2023, and he scored a 73.3 against the Lions. It was bottom third of his scores for 2023. Bottom third. All right, let's go back to 2022. Played him in week 7. He had a much better game there. 91.4 on defense, 92 in pass rush, run defense 61.9. His run defense is like the weakest part of his game. And tackling 53.7. Tackling is also the weakest part of his game. He had 5 pressures, 2 sacks, 2 hits, 1 hurry, 3 tackles. So, I mean, good game. 2-sack game is great, right? That was 22, though. And it was a team that was just starting to find its way for the Detroit Lions, but he did not play us last season. Or he didn't suit up against the Lions last season, I should say. Watching Boise State on ESPN, huh? We got college tonight. Huh. Yeah, Garrity, I wish, man. Thinking that Hutch won't demand over 40. I wish it was that easy. I really do, man. I wish it was that easy. Unfortunately, these agents, they're the ones that are pulling the purse strings, man. See what happens, and I just heard this again probably 2-3 weeks ago, that if an agent doesn't pull, for all of the big money for for their client, and then the next year when you get a new wave of clients that come in through the draft, all of the other agents are going to say, "See, look all that money he left on the board over there for that player. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. That's why you should be with us, not them." That's just one of the moves, man. Sales tactics. So I think his agent's gonna go for it. He's probably gonna go for 50. The first defensive player ever to be paid out of the 40s. Aiden Hutchinson, 2026. Book it, but is it going to be in Detroit? Here's what I'm hoping happens. Take the quarterback salary off the books. Make that part of the overhead, coaches, right? Lump that in with the coaches' money. I think that's what they should do. Get rid of the quarterback salary. Just make that part of the team, not the players. They were talking about that a couple years ago. Yeah, and this money is getting ridiculous. It's $50 million to play a game of football, man. Is nuts. It is absolutely nuts, especially when you got little kids that can't even get a square meal. Do I think that Brad reacts? That's a great question, U of M dad. That is a great question. Reacts with Aiden? How can he now? What he just said this morning is, we've had dialogue, but it's not like it just started. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, God. Bo Booth says, oh, yes. Some folks are going to go off the rails about this. I wonder who's going to blame Brad for letting this happen. That's a good one, Bo. I actually just wanted to use my pad. Sorry. There we go. That would have been the good one. That was a better one. I got to get some stuff loaded up on here. All right, what other questions? I got to get out of here so I can get ready for the 7 o'clock. How many do we have in here right now? 158. Should we just roll through and just do another hour now and say forget the 7 o'clock? Should we just do that? Incoming meltdown. 1,000% there's going to be an incoming meltdown. Let me see what we have for mailbag questions, because I haven't even looked yet. Man, there's some really, really good emails I got today. Just reading the first one. What do you say? Just keep crashing through or what? Keep going. All right, well then let's transition. Let's get off the. Well, I mean, we can talk about Parsons. I really don't care. At some point, I do want to talk about the Magnificent Seven, though, and I do need to get out of this breaking news look. I forgot that I was even in it. Honestly, I haven't even looked back at OBS in a while. I'm lazy today. Absolutely lazy today. There we go. I don't even have lights on. Okay. Magnificent Seven. I want to get to that. If you got it and you will keep on going. No, I mean, I can do it. That's not a problem. That's why I jumped in the shower later on, in the evening so that I could wake up a little bit. Feel all refreshed, man. Had to smell good for the camera, right? But what I wanted to do tonight is I wanted to go through the Magnificent Seven because we didn't do it this morning. And in this morning, that was what today was supposed to be all about. I mean, besides other stuff, but the Magnificent Seven, what I'm saying here is that's our offense, right? Now that Brad has compiled this offense and added a couple extra players this year, man, it's magnificent. That's the first word that came out of my mouth when I looked at the roster. Dominic Lovett, the guy that I was hoping was going to make the roster, made it. And then at the end, I'm like, I don't think he's going to make it. I'm going to put Jackson Meeks in there because Jackson played out of his damn mind. But you know what? Both of them made the roster. Just one's on the 53 because he earned it, and the other one is on the practice squad, which that still blows my mind that Brad didn't think that Meeks earned it. I thought for sure he did. But I'm just a guy with a mic. So tonight is Motor City Mailbag, Gripes and Hype, and then I want to get into the Magnificent Seven. Let's get it reset here, and I'll start recording a new segment. All right, and we're back. Welcome into Off the Cuff Podcast. It is Thursday night, Gripes and Hype, and we're going to get into Magnificent Seven tonight, which is my new name for the Detroit Lions. 7 offensive weapons that are going to give players like Micah Parsons some fits. And I think that this offensive 7, if you will, the Magnificent Seven, I think that they're going to be some of the best players in the league this year. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of go around the NFC North, take a look at their rosters. Let's see who they have, and let's compare them to the Magnificent Seven tonight. Where do they stand? You know, how do they rank? And we're going to do it kind of live. It's just a free-for-all kind of thing tonight. Just have a little fun with it, you know? So let's start with... let's start with Green Bay. We're already on it. Let's go to Green Bay. Now, we've heard throughout this preseason that Green Bay's been having quite a bit of trouble with their receiver room. Actually, I need to get the initial 53. This is what I needed that hour for, so I could pull everything in and just have it all ready. Here we go. So for the Green Bay Packers, they waited until after 4 p.m. to, finally deliver their 53 as well. The Lions, for the first year ever, delivered shortly after 4 p.m. That never happens. The team kept on the Green Bay Packers kept 26 players on the defense, and they only kept 24 players on the offense, which is quite similar to what the Lions did numbers wise. Very, very close. Very, very close. Let's go through it, man. Here's our Magnificent Seven. So if you didn't catch it, here's the thumbnail. Isaac Tesla, Khalif Raymond, J-Mo, Jamison Williams. In the back there, and you really can't see him that well, that's Dominic Lovett. Had a hard time finding a good pic of him. Of course, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Man, that is a mouthful, right? That is a mouthful. Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Isaac Tesla. That's your top. Well, I'm sorry. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Isaac Tesla. That's your top 3, right? Khalif Raymond, Dominic Lovett. That rounds out the top 5 in the wide receiver room. Now, I don't have a player like Brock Wright in here because he's not a huge he's not a huge passing threat. But I do believe that Jahmyr Gibbs, like a lot of us believe, is going to get some action this year downfield in the pass game. As soon as I can figure out where my video went, there we go. All right, let's go to Green Bay. David Lyon's like, man, this news pisses me off, man. We don't value rushing the passer like everyone else. This is just one team, though, David. It's just one team. It's just the Packers, right? What I would still, I'm still going to beg the question: how many other teams out there have a Parsons and an Aiden on the same team? Right? The Texans are about the closest you're going to get. Or at one point, I thought they made a move in the 53. I'm not going to dip off into that tonight, but there's really no teams out there that are loaded with two top-tier edge rushers, if you will. But I get you. It's going to suck for a minute, but look, I think we're fine. I think we're all right. I really do. That's a good question, Bo. How good is Philly if they had the same amount of injuries to their defense as we did? They don't sniff a Super Bowl. I think that's for sure. And Michael Bodo, as far as Philly winning championships, they had a great, pressure with 4 right up front, and that's what it's all about, and that's what Brad's built. Right, that's what he's been building is that interior pass rush. It's not the edge. I think you guys are mistaking one thing. The edge did not win the Super Bowl at all. They had 3 sacks. The interior had 3 sacks. But it was the interior pressure that allowed the edge to get home. So the edge was playing a lot of cleanup duty when the interior was crashing the middle. So the interior A and B gap, A gap most notably, is the fastest path to the quarterback. And that's why we have Tyleik Williams now, a guy that can get after the quarterback and plays the 3-tech, the 5-tech, the 7-tech, the 9-tech. I mean, he can do it all. He's a gadget knife. He can do it all. I think that Tyleik, he may not see him jump off the page in year 1. I think he's going to be successful. But, man, you give him 2 years in this system and shaping his body, Tyleik's going to be a problem. You know what Tyleik is going to remind me of? Oh, I just ripped my ears out. Tyleik is reminding me of a player that played for the Tampa Bay Bucks many moons ago, and man, was he a problem. He was a big problem. And Broderick Martin actually kind of reminded me of that dude, too, for a minute. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. There you go. There you go. Warren Sapp. That's who Tyleik Williams he's reminding me of right now when I watch him play. Now, he's not as thick as Sapp, but he's just got that ability to find his way into the backfield. And Sapp had that, man. He could just find his way into the backfield. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes, but I'm just glad our interior is just as good as the outside. I'll leave it at that. All right, Packers roster. Here we go. You tell me. We'll vote it up. Who has the better wide receiver room, mano a mano? And this is taken into consideration that they're all healthy. Okay, let's just say they're all healthy. I'm not going to worry about injuries. We're going straight 53-man roster. The Green Bay Packers, Romeo Doubs and Matthew Golden versus Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams. Malik Heath, Jaden Reed versus Khalif Raymond and Isaac Tesla. Dontavian Wicks and Savion Williams, versus Dominic Lovett and Jackson Meeks. Who has the overall better room? And then if you want to break it out one more from there, who has the best receiver out of those two teams? Like, how would you rank your receivers? Here, let me throw it up. There you go. There's your Packers. We can probably make that look a little better, huh? Oh, David, I was thinking about you the other day. Do you want to do a deck job? A very quick, just some railings and some stairs. Just real quick. Let me know. My side of the state. So west side of the state. All right, so tell me who it is, man. I don't see anybody voting or saying anything about our wide receiver. We're going to be stuck on Parsons, aren't we? That's all right. Yeah, there you go, David. Lions have the way better wide receiver, says Bodo. I believe so too. Saint and J-Mo are in different universe than any Packer receiver. I'm with you there. Here, let me get the Lions up. My goodness, where is my... I changed everything the other day, and I'm looking at my screen, and I'm just like lost. Jeez, oh, Pete's. All right, let's find the Lions here. I need some music, man. We need some music in this room. Oh, man, the Lions don't have their depth chart out? What is going on? It's gone. Oh, I guess I can just go to the Lions 53 man. I'll just take it off somebody's page. Could probably just go to mine. Go to Pride of Detroit. Let's check theirs out. Theirs is usually pretty good. It's usually in organized fashion. Makes it easier to read. All right, so there you go. There's your Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. Well, Tim Patrick, see, he's not there anymore, right? So he's gone. He's gone. But Khalif Raymond, Isaac Tisla, Dominic Lovett. We have 5 receivers. Like I said the other day when I said I'm going to take 6, going against my better judgment, we always keep 5. And expecting Tim to get traded. Thankfully, the Lions are able to get a draft pick in return for him. So I don't think that that's any sort of a contest, to be honest with you. I think the Lions have this far away. Now, if Matthew Golden turns into somebody, he's going to be more of your Amon-Ra St. Brown type of receiver. Jaden Reed, same thing. I mean, he's a slot merchant that can also get downfield. Savion Williams is the one that I'm a little bit curious about. When did he come into the league? Was it this year or last year? Oops. I mean to do that. 6'4". So he's your size guy for the Packers. Savion Williams, 6'4", 222 pounds. He's your size guy. All right, let's head over to the Vikings. The whole premise of this is who's better, right? Who has the bigger, better room? Who's going to sustain this season? Who's going to have the better stats this season? Probably could have done a better job if I would have taken that hour to prepare, but we're just going to roll through it. We'll just have the conversation. You know, my question with this whole Parsons thing too is how is that going to affect? How's that going to affect Jahmyr Gibbs now? Right? How's that going to affect them working over the middle? And when you're thinking of Jahmyr Gibbs having to pick up a chip block, right? Or Sam Laporta having to pick up a chip and it's on Parsons, you know, if they're swinging down to help out Decker, how's the slide protection going to work on the offensive line now? Are they going to be sliding towards Parsons every time? And what is that going to do to the other side of the defense? Or I'm sorry, the other side of the offense? You know, defensively, is that going to give the Packers an advantage? Or, I guess said another way, are the Lions going to try to isolate? Are they, and I mean that from two different perspectives. You can isolate Parsons and try to take him out of the game completely. Or you could let him free run, you know, free rush at times, and you just go the opposite direction, just completely go away from him. That's what I'm concerned about, is Jahmyr Gibbs. Because what I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see Jahmyr Gibbs get laid out. I mean, he's a tough-ass dude, but Parsons is a hitter, man. He can lay the boomstick. All right, here we go. So let's talk about the Vikings, man. They got the next best room, I think, in the NFC North compared to the Lions. That's a little bit small. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Nailor, Ty Felton, Tim Jones, and Miles Price. I don't even know who half these dudes are. Okay, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Nailor, of course I know who they are. Ty Felton, the name sounds familiar, but Tim Jones and Miles Price, can somebody enlighten me here? I really don't know anything about these guys. Micah don't play well in the cold. Neither does Goff, right? And he's got small hands. Addison is not even close to be anywhere near as good as St. Brown or Michael. Yeah, where's Jordan Addison on this? Where's he at? Wait. What year is this? This is 25. August 26. What am I missing here? Am I missing something? Yeah, I bet Ben Johnson's just he's over there giving himself a little a little evil grin or whatever, the evil laugh. Is he suspended? That's why he's not on the roster. I forgot about his suspension. 3-game suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Of course he did. Did we ever find out what the substance was? Huh. Okay. Well, he's definitely going to be back, right? Before the Lions have to take on the Vikings. So let's just assume that he's back. Let's assume that he's on the roster. Is Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison versus J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Here's the thing I'm going to say about speed, because I see someone mention the speed in there. I think a couple of you guys did, but Trace mentioned J-Mo's faster than Addison by a country mile and outperformed Addison last season, and he did that missing 2 games. I love that take. And someone else mentioned speed somewhere. Yeah, there he is. The Great Giraffe by Snoopy Lion. You guys do pay attention, man. I love it. You are missing Monty on your Mag 7. No. So let me explain. Let me explain. Yeah, you caught it. I'm surprised. Actually, I'm not surprised. You guys are smart as hell. Hold on. Let me get to my other screen. I'm gonna have to change this up because this is not working for me. I put everything on the right, and it's foreign to me. I need to put it back on the left. Here's what the Mag 7 is, man. It's more about pass catchers. It's not the running backs. So the Magnificent 7 to me is, and I probably could have put Monty in there and should have put Monty in there over Dominic Lovett, but I included the entire receiver room and then our best tight end and then the best pass catcher, which I believe Jameer's going to be the best pass catching running back that we have. And that's no shade at Monty, because Monty, the dude, gets no love and no one talks about him, but the dude can catch and run. And we've seen that. I don't know how I wouldn't have called it the Magnificent 8. I don't know. The Magnificent 7 just sounded better. And that's what I was trying to do. The best running back, the best tight end, and the receiver room. That's what I was trying to do. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely don't want to see Goff get hit by Micah. Yeah, that's nuts. Vikings depth-wise might be better receiver now because of Thielen, but Tesla might be a stud. I forgot that they got Thielen back. So who did they kick off their 53? Is that deal done? Is the Thielen deal done? I can't believe that he's back in Minnesota. And what did they give up? So, 5th round pick and a 4th round pick. And Minnesota received a 26 conditional 7th and a 5th in 2027. So it looks like they did a little bit of pick swapping. So they swapped. Minnesota received Thielen and a 7th rounder and gave up a 2026 5th. And then they also, Minnesota received a 4th rounder in 2027, but gave back a 5th rounder in 2027. So a little pick swapping in 2027. In 2026. Thielen's 35 years old, so I could not say that he's better at than any of our guys. I mean, so right now Thielen would be, what's Thielen on this roster? Justin Jefferson, Jalen Naylor, then Thielen? Is that what we're thinking? There you go, Michael Garrett. He just summed it all up. He's like, this question is a no-brainer. The wide receiver room, the running back room, and Laporta are above the rest of the division, period. Man, already got the yawns. St. Brown, best slot merchant in the game. Tesla and J-Mo opening up the underneath for St. Brown and Laporta is a winning recipe. Not to mention the two-headed monster out of the backfield, says Kevin Barr. And I agree. Screens defeat the pass rush. Is that what you meant? Bet it up. The screen will defeat the pass rush. You know, we were doing a lot of short work. This and in all the practices that I attended, they were doing a lot of short work, and I did see a lot of stuff over the middle, short stuff. Excuse me. I didn't see a bunch of. I did not see a bunch of screens. I'll be right back. Let me grab something to drink. Oh, I got to grab my dog too. Hold on. So I got a question. This is a random question. Any of you guys ever try those muscle stimulators? Not just the TENS units, but the muscle stimulators, you know, that they advertise that you can do like 1,000 crunches a day while you're sitting down. I just pick some up. I figured while I'm sitting here, I can at least allow my blood to move. Or, you know, get one of those vibration boards, put it underneath my feet. I have a TENS unit, but I've never tried this other one. I mean, essentially it's the same thing, but Will said bubble screen. No, I don't think I said bubble screen. Losing is making Packers people go through a midlife crisis. What? I must be missing something. Yeah, you're darn right I'm drinking that Town Club Pop. You know it, man. This stuff's the best stuff on earth, I'm telling you. I saw this in a tweet by, oh my God, now I forget. But anyway, he told me where to get it, and I just so happened to be passing Kroger on my way back home, dipped in, cleared the shelf, dipped out. And so now every time I go back and forth to Detroit, I always dip into a Kroger, clear the whole shelf, and leave. They look at me sideways like, what is this dude doing? Like, once every 2 weeks, he comes in here and clears out all the blue pop. I only take like 2 reds and a couple cream sodas and then this one. It's good stuff. I try not to drink a ton of pop, but it is what it is. It's good stuff. Well, you're going to find out, Brent. We're going to find out if you're talking about those. You're going to find out about those things. We're going to find out if they work, man, because I'm going to be using it. If you have a TENS unit, you can do the same thing. Yeah, I mean, this wasn't expensive. My TENS unit was honestly a little bit more expensive, but I was looking for something that I could wrap around me, you know, that I don't have to worry about the sticky pads. So I got the belt and the arm wrap so you can wrap around your calf too. I just need more blood flow. I'm sitting in this chair too long, so I need more blood flow. Help keep me awake. Just zap the shit out of myself, right? Start falling asleep, just turn it up. Just pain works. I'm good with pain. Lions X Factor is Montgomery because they can go ground and pound and get those first downs. That's right, Mark. I love it. But you're right. Whoever brought up Monty, he belongs on this list. It was just, I just love the Magnificent Seven, man. Just trying to be different. So I'm going to get back to the Vikings. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Naylor, Ty Felton, Tim Jones, and Miles Price. I don't know who they dropped off to bring Adam Thielen back, but even with Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison, I would say obviously the Vikings have the closest room to the Lions. You can't replace, Justin Jefferson and J-Mo. Speed for speed. Both of those guys are at the top of the deck, right? They both have the some of the best speed in the league. Hands, man, Justin Jefferson's hands really good. You don't see Amon-Ra St. Brown dropping much, and J-Mo, honestly, you don't see him dropping a bunch either. I could almost put this room as a tie, but I have to give the edge to the Lions here too. Now, last year I did the unbiased reviews. We never did it this year. We never did it. So I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to try to get it done before week 1. So it'll be a segment for next week. It's a ton of work. So I'll try to get it done. But the unbiased reviews is where I'm going to go through and I'm going to rank where each of the positional groups is going to finish at the end of the year. And it's only the NFC North. So when I do these rankings, and yes, I'm going to post them, and yes, I'm going to talk about them. And if I hit, I will talk about it again, because that's what it's all about, is we're going to post it and just see if we can make an accurate assessment based on, what we've seen early, what we've read, what we know, and rank these guys. And look, it's just like last year, when I thought that for sure the Minnesota Vikings were going to have one of the best linebacker groups in the league, and they sure as hell did. It definitely tops in the NFC North, but it was one of the best in the league. But there's a lot of parity, I think, between last year and this year between these positional groups. There's also some big differences. J-Rod, you don't know already? Parsons is a Packer, dude. Parsons is a Packer. They just gave up their future. The exact trade that Eric and I were talking about this morning. They just gave up their entire future to bring Parsons in. It's nuts. But it's not going to help them. All right, let's go to the Bears. I got to get new ears, man. I know I keep saying this. I got to get it done tomorrow. All right, let's bring in the Bears. It's crazy, and I'm just going to say this because I got to say it. When I was in the Lions chat today, I saw a very disturbing message from some idiot. I don't know who it was. And yeah, I'm going to say idiot because what he said, clearly you don't know me, said something about white stuff, right? Cocaine and my name. And I'm like, are we serious right now? Like, I'm probably one of the cleanest dudes on the planet. being a cancer patient. I would never do drugs, man. Like, seriously? I don't even do the legal stuff that probably half the people in this room do. I don't even drink alcohol. So, yeah. Don't believe the things that you hear, man. People are stupid, but yeah, don't catch me the wrong way. It's just don't misplace my kindness for weakness. This room is not blowing up for me. Come on. All right, DJ Moore, Olamide Zacchaeus. Is that how you say his last name? Olamide Zacchaeus. Luther Burden III and J.P. Richardson. Do they really only have 4 wide receivers? And this look sucks. Like this, it's not big enough. Yeah, there's Rome. There we go. I don't know what I was looking at. Like, where's Odunzi? And DJ Moore. Okay. Odunzi, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Duvernay, Jade Walker, and then Olamide Zacchaeus. So Zacchaeus, Moore, and Odunzi are the top 3? Jade Walker, Devin Duvernay, and I didn't know they got Devin Duvernay. When did they pick up Devin? Apparently, I don't have my ad blocker on. $825. They just picked him up. We did the Packers again, but yeah, we can do it again. Olamide. Luther Burden is really good, one to watch, possibly. I think so too. I think I'd look. Here's my question: did they really just pick him up on the 25th? They must have. They had to have. So Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, and Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus, whatever, Olamide. How did those top 3 rank to the Lions? So Rome Odunze and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Rome had a hell of a rookie year. But is he anywhere near Amon-Ra St. Brown? No. Is he a hell of a wide receiver? Absolutely. DJ Moore, I'm not overly sold on DJ Moore. I'm really not. Like, I think he's a good football player, but I'm not overly impressed. And maybe that's because they just haven't had a good quarterback. And I think he had some health issues last year. He didn't even put up 1,000 yards last year. (2024) he went 17 games played, 98 receptions on 140 targets. Wow. 140 targets, 966 balls. You know what's crazy is the year before in 2023 with Justin Fields, he had identical numbers, almost 136 on the targets, 96 in receptions, finished with 400 less yards. That's the Caleb Williams difference. And he had 2 less TDs in 24 to 23. DJ Moore's had 4 1,000-yard seasons. He had 3 in a row from 2019 to 2021. He's 6 foot 213, so I mean he's darn near identical in size to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamison Williams and Rome Odunze. So Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze says, I want the ball on every play. See, that's not going to help you win football games. It's good to be confident, but man, if you start taking that kind of an attitude, yeah, he's 6'3", 214. He's got great size, good weight, hella speed. Had a good year last year. Really good year for a rookie, man. I mean, he didn't break 1,000, but 54 balls, 101 targets. That part's not good, right? Right around 55% completion percentage, 734 yards, 3 TDs. I need the full look. Where's the full look? Looks like he was in every game, too. He was 4 for 7 against the Lions with 77 yards in the last game in December. No TDs. In the first game, he was 2 for 6, 25 yards. No TDs. And hold on, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think we had Carlton Davis in that game either, did we? The second game, or the first game against the Bears. Or was that the game that Carlton Davis got injured in? See you, Bo. Take care, man. Ayuk got paid and dipped. What are we talking about? Who's a Packers fan in here? Where? Mark? Mark, you Packers fan? If you are, man, I got a question for you. Don't be afraid. If you are, you are. There's nothing wrong with it. Except everything. Do you honestly think that Micah Parsons is going to save your season? Major Payne, does Benedict really think his wide receiver room is better than ours? He's delusional. All right, Mark says he's a Lions fan. So I don't know what y'all are tit-tatting about, but whatever. It is what it is. Michael Garrity, man. I seen that message in there. All right, so for the Magnificent Seven, look, this isn't even close, I don't think. I think, when you look at the Bears, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, it's a good room, right? It's a good room, especially with Luther Bird in the third. And the pickup of Devin Duvernay is sneaky good. He can definitely be a depth chart guy that he can help you eat up some time if needed, man. I think there's still plenty of game left in him. What is going on with the Panthers? How many players have they traded this year? We didn't get a chance to do our around the league look either, so maybe we can do some of that tomorrow on the morning show. So the Panthers signed quarterback Hendon Hooker. And they traded Adam Thielen. They signed Bryce Perkins. That was Eric's quarterback. I thought they had more trades than just Adam Thielen. Interesting. Jaden Krumeti got waived. I liked Krumeti. He was picked up last year. I'm not sure what round. I don't remember. But he was a 2024 draft pick, and he's already looking for a new team. 6th round last year. All right, how about our running backs? How do they compare to the rest of this league or rest of the North? We'll just start with the Bears. So the Bears running backs are projected to be DeAndre Swift and Rashawn Johnson. I'm a bit surprised, but then again, I'm really not with Benedict Johnson to keep DeAndre Swift. No comparison at all. The Bears running back room is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Josh Jacobs, Chris Brooks, and Emmanuel Wilson in Green Bay. There's no comparison here at all. None. Zero. Zilch. And then we'll go out to the Vikings. Gosh darn it. I keep getting stuck on something. It is time for wireless. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a good runner, but he didn't do squat last year. I mean, really, what did he do last year? I don't think he did squat. I mean, at 1329, but he didn't do squat against the Lions. $13.29 is a great season, by the way. It's a hell of a season. What do you have? 95 against us? In one game, they lost. And he had 66 in the second game. They lost. He might have been one of the highest in that one game, the 95 yards. That might have been one of the highest games for running back against the Lions in a long time. And then I think last year we finally lost our record of not allowing 100 yards in a game. DPJ was finished too. He's off the Saints now. Yeah, his career didn't work out. He's probably feeling a little maize right now. A little maize and blue. All right, what else you guys want to get into tonight? Let's get into the rest of the mailbag here. We haven't even really started it. Tonight just kind of got off into a weird. We didn't take a break, so I didn't get to prepare. That's what happens when I don't prepare. All right, we got a mailbag question here. Do I think that Holmes reacts with a move of his own to counteract this Parsons move by Green Bay? Sent in by DP. Nah. I don't. I mean, what kind of move? What kind of move are we talking about here? Are you saying edge rusher move? There's no edge rusher move out there that you could make that would compare. Z doesn't compare. Trey kind of compares. Myles Garrett would compare. But there's no comparison. Now, if you're thinking, okay, not a player, but a contract, I don't think that Brad would want to counteract with another contract. I think he's just going to sit. I think Brad's happy with where he is, man. And I think the real problem is we only got 50 to start, right? And then we filled in from there, which I think we filled in good. I haven't highlighted anybody yet. I think we filled in pretty well. The last couple of guys, the safety, Daniel Thomas, the defensive end, the defensive tackle depth. If there's one thing that I felt like this team was going to do, which I thought was going to be more on the practice squad, but they really kind of did it on the 53, was some extra depth for the defensive line room. So when you look at the Detroit Lions depth chart right now, here's what it looks like. I kind of was talking about it all throughout the year that I thought that we were going to go really deep on the D line and we could keep anywhere between 9 and 12. And I was leaning towards 11. That was my call. I thought that we would keep somewhere around 11 or 11, right? We went light in the DE room. Aiden Hutchinson, Al-Kareem Muhammad, Marcus Davenport, and Tyrus Wheat. Hoytons make up your 4 defensive ends. And then we've got 7 defensive tackles. 7. That's 11. We have 11 guys in the defensive line. Brad does not want to lose on the defensive line again this year. And we still have a spot open for Josh Paschal. Which will round out the 53-man once he gets back. Doesn't mean that he won't fill it with another spot, but I personally feel that it's going to be Josh Paschal. So to answer the question, DP, I don't think that he's going to make another move. I don't see any glaring holes right now when you run down this roster. I just don't. I think that we're pretty set. We just need these guys to stay healthy. All of them. Everyone's staying healthy this year. They have to. It's a must. I would say that we can't. We can't. It's kind of. I mean, I see what people say all the time. You can't you can't trust Davenport to stay healthy. You know what? You really can't trust anybody to stay healthy. And that's, it's unfortunate, but Anzalone got hurt for 6 games last year. Amik went out for 5-6 games. Can we trust them? Because they went out for 5-6 games a year. Or Lee McNeil. I mean, Lee McNeil got hurt for, the last 5 games or last 4 games, and then the first 8 or 9 games of this year, whatever it's going to be. Can we trust him now that he had a major injury? Like Alex Anzalone, he had a broken forearm in November of 24. He had a hand injury during the Thanksgiving Day game in 2023. He had a shoulder strain in 2021. He had another shoulder strain in 2019. And then he had more shoulder injuries in 2017. So he has a ton of injury history. And I don't hear a lot of people, saying the same thing. Okay, so Snoopy Lion says, you guys realize that when Hassanin comes off his injury, it's designation, that he goes back to waivers around week 4 to 6. Is that where the Bears pluck him? So he does not go back to waivers. He's a free agent at that point. Now, the way that we read it this morning, it said something totally different. That he had to clear waivers for the first 24 hours, which is done. And now he has to go back to the Lions IR. Or the Lions have to sign him to an injury designation within the first 5 days. And the injury designation will last, from what we heard this morning by pretty reliable source, his family, not Corey, was 7-week injury settlement. And then 3 weeks after that, so week 10, and Ahmed Hassanin will be back week 11. That's the expected date. To your point, though, he could sign with anybody. He absolutely could. Will it happen? Probably not. High risk, exactly. Brad has balls of steel, and if a team really loves what he's all about, they could double up a contract or something, and then that's a problem. Hold on one sec. If you guys are interested in doing the fantasy leagues, there's links in the YouTube posts. And if they fill up, I'll create a new league if we get enough interest. If you want to do pay leagues, you just need to DM me on Twitter at Will Rock Jr. And the pay leagues are, I think, 60 and 100. And then there's a Rocked On Cancer Foundation League, same thing. Email me or DM me that you want to get into it, because we have to do our draft before Wednesday of next week. There was another message in here I just saw a little while ago. Where is it? Here it is. Here's a question. So what happens to all the players that were waived and have not signed with a practice squad? Are they basically washed out of the NFL? They are free to go do whatever they want. They are literally free. They can go do what they want. Now, they could always be claimed later, but they're free agents now. They just had to adhere to the, accrued seasons, but they're free agents to sign wherever they want to sign. And some of the players are going to go play in a different league. Some might go to the UFL or CFL or whatever, right? Some might be back. I mean, a lot of guys, just go get regular jobs. Start working on their career after football. Countdown to kickoff. What's this about? I got to get the countdown set. Oh, they got a new countdown on NFL. 7 days, 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 42 seconds. We should have a countdown going, don't we? We do somewhere. Here we go. Oh, the countdown is at 0. But that's all right. There's plenty of time on the clock in Pro Sports Zone, where all of your favorite teams are in the building. Go visit Pro Sports Zone. Get all of your Detroit Lions gear today. Let them know Rocked On sent you. Get yourself a little bit of a discount while you're there. Pro Sports Zone, man. Get in the zone. Lowest prices, best merchandise, always in Livonia Park Place Mall. Check them out. 37700 6 Mile Road. What are the questions? I don't see any more questions here. Oh, wait. Yeah. I just saw this by Precision. So Precision, if you're in, I'm just now seeing yours. So let's just talk about it. So last night, let's see, Doc was on Crunch Time, apparently calling me out. So Jeff Iafrate, obviously I just lost a ton of respect for you. That's just it's wholly inappropriate, right? Doc is not God's gospel to journalism, right? He's not trying to say that you need two sources or multiple sources. On my Twitter, if I put per source or per sources or per reports, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I don't work for Fox, NBC, CBS, NBC. I don't work for any of those people, right? I work for Will Rock. I work for Rocked On Sports Media. My one source was correct, wasn't it? Wasn't it? There's more than one source. But my one source is the only one that I needed because of where that source is and how close that source is to all of it. It's much closer than what you guys realize. So I just don't share a whole bunch of shit because I don't want to get people in trouble. You know what I mean? But I wanted to share the one that everybody was so worried about. Everyone that was so upset about was Dan Skipper. And so by me sharing that, brought a lot of happiness to people early yesterday or the other day, right? So I don't know why he wants to talk shit, right? But like, the message says in here, I think it's very unprofessional. He should have just texted you instead of airing it out on all over YouTube or something. Exactly. Right? Exactly. That I mean, if he really thinks that I care, he should have. But when you're not sitting at a desk, walking, talking, doing everything that I was doing yesterday, very, very busy, very, very busy day. You can't change your post on Twitter after a certain time. Can't change it. So if you don't put an extra S, right, or if you spell something wrong, or if autocorrect gets you, you're screwed. All you can do is delete it. I'm not going to delete it when you got 30,000 people, all over the post. Why would I delete it? But the point is this: right, wrong, or indifferent, it came true, didn't it? That's the only thing that matters. What would have mattered is if I would have put per source and then it didn't come true. Right? That it didn't come true. I have 50 sources. The only source I need is me. I pick up the phone. I take care of it. I get the information. Right? I talk to multiple people. That's the only thing that matters. But to air it all out, you know why? Because he's fucking jealous. Excuse my F-bomb. That's why. Why is he jealous? I don't know. Why does he got a problem with me? I don't know. But that's why I'm going to have a problem with him now. So he started all this crap, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let him finish it. So it's not a good look, man. Remember, you work for Sports Illustrated. You represent a brand that's bigger than you, a brand that has propped you up. You might want to be careful with that. That's all I'm going to say. I don't work for someone. No one signs my paychecks, right? Someone signs your paychecks. I work for me. You work for you, right? Try that. Try that. I work my ass off. I don't have a whole bunch of people doing stuff for me. Oh, he does, Nick B. He does. Clearly he does. These shades, Joseph? These blue ones? Are these the ones you're asking about? Yeah, exactly, King. Exactly. Like I don't like, I'm not here to screw with people. You know what the funny thing is he's linked up with that other dude that talks a lot of shit too. And what he doesn't understand is that other dude is just saying a bunch of lies. And I'll be, I'll just be wholly inappropriate here for a minute, but spot on and truthful at the same time. No one has ever created anything for my show or for this channel. No one. No one has, outside of me asking a dude on Fiverr to do a couple of thumbnails for me, and the idiot ended up copying somebody's, which when I realized that happened, because I don't watch that other idiot show, I took care of it. Right? But nobody created a Rise and Grind morning show but me. That's my show. That is nobody else's. So for someone to say that they were fired on their day off, they were never hired in the first place. They were never giving into the show. They were a guest coming on twice a week and then disappeared. I have all of the messages, all of them, all of the emails disappeared. Just stopped showing up. That is why Eric became a guest and then filled in, and then filled in again, and then filled in again. Remember, this was just Tuesday and Thursday. This was not 5 days a week. But that was back when that other channel had 235 subscribers. Not 1,000 or more. 235 is when he was on that show. And he was on for like 6 episodes or whatever it was and disappeared. So no one ever built anything for me. No one was fired. when you quit showing up, no one ever gave me topics, wrote my shows, did my thumbnails, did my graphic work, nothing. Nobody. And see, what that individual doesn't realize is in the beginning, it was everybody else that was saying that individual was a huge problem. And he does that to everybody because he doesn't want somebody to be better than him. So what he does is he trashes everybody. He's done it to everybody. Everybody. And he's trying to do it to me. And so if you're trying to intentionally ruin someone's channel by defaming and slandering someone, not only is that against the terms and conditions of YouTube, and I have hundreds of clips of it, right? It's also lawsuitable. That's the problem. But that other guy for SI is buddied up with that dude too, from what I understand. And so they're both just running and chirping their mouths together. You probably should have got the right information, the truth from somebody before you start running your mouth or thinking a certain way. Because people that know me know who I am. Don't do drugs. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Right? Good, clean, wholesome dude. Don't have a record. Right? Just a good dude. Paid my child support when I needed to. For 18 years. Never missed a payment. Pretty solid individual. So, for people to talk shit, let them talk. It's great it's great publicity for me. Keep doing it. Right? But then again, you probably shouldn't do it because eventually that letter is going to show up. Or the channel disappears. Not mine, yours. Right? So just keep at it, man. Just keep at it. Like J-Rod says, man, the jealous ones, I speak for a lot. We love and respect you, Will. Keep on rocking, man. Appreciate you. Michael Garrity, thank you for the shout out for the dono. Says, Rockdown Detroit Lions is the best Detroit Lions podcast, period. 100% integrity. I appreciate you too, man. But listen, do I get everything right? No, I don't. But I do think that there's a certain level of accuracy and getting things right that's part of this. What I think has rubbed people the wrong way, which is unfortunate, is the fact that I've stuck to my guns about the position of this team and where it's going, my pulse on the team, my predictions about the team, most notably the edge position. And when you rile up a fan base and you trash the GM because you think that we need another edge and all you do is talk shit about that position, am I saying that another all-star edge couldn't help this team? Absolutely they could. That's not the argument. The argument is it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the way the team is being built. It doesn't fit if you want to have a team that has sustained success for the next decade. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit if you want to sign all of those draft picks from 2023. That's my argument. I'm not saying we don't need Trey Hendrickson. I'm not saying we don't need Micah Parsons. What I'm saying is it's just not the right time. And it may never be the right time. I come from CEO world, right? That's what I come from. I come from C-suite level, education and positions. That's what I come from. So I have a lot of background and history in building things. I used to buy companies, package them together, and then resell them, right? So during my education and learning from a lot of other really smart individuals, you learn how a business is built, and an NFL football team is a business, right? It's a business. It's no different. There's a right way and a wrong way to build it. So I hate talking about this stuff, and I don't want to talk about it. But I'm finally at the point now where I've just been rubbed raw of the lies and the slander and the defamation. And I'm going to straighten it all out once and for all. And unfortunately, someone's going to pay for it, and it's not going to be me because I haven't done anything wrong. But for someone to outwardly just lie about you and then make threats, verbal threats and threats saying, oh, if you guys want to meet me at the game or something, and I'll tell you all about Rockhound. We've been there for a minute or whatever clip I have now, which thank you guys for sharing. Because I ain't got time to watch the filth. It's a lie. So whatever you think that you're going to say to somebody, to do what? That is causing irreparable harm by you lying and then making fun of a cancer foundation and then trying to say, well, what is he really doing with that money? Where's that money really going? Dude, number one, it's not your business, right? It's not your business. Number two, then you claim that you want to go start a cancer foundation? Narcissist, dude. Narcissist. It's like, it's hilarious that some of the things that I say, I'll then hear someone else saying. Hilarious. Now there's a term for that, but I'm not a psychologist. You might want to ask Doc, right? He might know. So at any rate, I didn't have any issues with any of these people. But then there was an individual that came into my Twitter late last night at 12:30 and started running their mouth when they clearly didn't know the whole story, right? They didn't realize that dude was apparently running his whole mouth for like the first 30, 40 minutes of his show, saying all kinds of stuff. For what? Because I put something on Twitter that you didn't have? That you wanted to try to attack something? Because I didn't put an S on sources? I'm sitting at a table in Ford Field with multiple people. I don't care if I put sources, or 10 sources, or 0 sources, or if I just put it out. It doesn't matter. It was accurate. It don't matter, right? Independent journalism, buddy. And by the way, why don't you go ahead and AI, right? Ask how many sources you need for certain things. Because what I learned a long time ago is that it depends on what the nature of the journalism is. It depends on how serious and severe the journalism is, or the reporting is, right? Are we talking a wartime? Right? Because then, yeah, you're going to need some multiple sources. It's a football team. It's a frickin' football team. It's not serious stuff, right? At all. This isn't life and death stuff. There's a big difference on how and when, right? And accuracy. But there's also a right way and a wrong way to treat people. And I'm sorry if you know, people think that I have an ego because I post my wins and like that's the furthest thing from ego, right? I think that I've said this multiple times again in the last 24 hours. There's a reason why, you know, these professional betting sites put out their wins and losses. There's a reason why they put out their percentage. There's a reason why, and you'll see it here in about a week. Every analyst from every station is going to put out a list of their calls for each week. And they run it through the entire season for every team each week. So are all of them egotistical assholes because they put out their wins and losses every week? Daniel Jeremiah is, I guess. All of them? I don't think so. It's part of the process. It's part of sports, right? It's a win and loss column. So if you're calling things, which it just so happens to be a segment called Rocks Locks, that's my calls of the week. Like during the week when, last year when I said Tim Patrick was going to get a touchdown and he does, or Kirby Joseph's going to get an interception and he did. That some of that stuff is just random calls, but a lot of it is based on research. When I'm looking, okay, what did these teams do the last time they met? Or how does this player perform against maybe this player? What is the history there? Or what does this team defense do really well against our offense and the most recent history over the past couple of years? It's called research, right? I get into the data and the analytics. It's what I do. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not an I'm not an actor. I'm an analytics guy. I'm a stat guy. That's just what I do. I'm here to be different. That's just what I do. I'm not here to put on a top hat and prance around with a cane, and sing you a song. That's not what I do. I'm not going to get drunk and then think I can rap and then fall asleep drunk on my channel. I'm not going to do that either. That's just inappropriate, man. That makes you look stupid. I'm a 45-year-old man. Why would I want to get drunk on live YouTube that's going to be there forever? Why would I do that? First, I got to pick up a drink, but I don't even do that. So, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I'm pissed about it, yes. I'm pissed because that's not who I am. That's not who I've ever been. I've never had issues, and I know what it is. And I could see it this morning in the live chat on the Lions too. Everyone that wants to hates the fact that I've gotten the edge thing right. That's what it's all about. They get their narratives wrong. And they probably also don't like the fact that I feel like they're not asking the right questions in the room. And there could be a reason for that. Maybe they're given questions that they're supposed to ask. I don't know. I'm not there. But the minute I do get there, I think that you're going to see a different brand of questions. Right? Not questions that are going to throw the team under the bus. Not questions that are going to make the team look bad. No. Nope, not at all. I just have a different set of questions because my mind works differently than yours. It's just crazy to me. It's toxic. These people are toxic. I don't get it. I've done nothing but when Crunch Time had issues and they lost their monetization, I was the first person reaching out to them behind the scenes saying, "Hey, do you want to do some shows together? Let's try to get you some monetization some way. Let's do something." And always reaching out, trying to help. Always reaching out, trying to invite people to do something together. Always. Never once trashed anybody. Not once. It's not my MO. My opinions, if I think that they're not doing a good job or something on something, that's an opinion, right? But there's also a pattern. And now there's a pattern of two individuals that are consistently talking shit. But there's one individual that has spread a bunch of lies and defamation and slander that I think is now infected the fan base, right? And now they may have a certain perception of me or this channel or what I do. And that is irreparable harm. And I won't put up with that because you're hurting my brand, you're hurting my image, you're hurting my likeness, you're hurting my future, you're hurting everything. And that is the goal. I get that's your goal. I get it. But that's why we have really good lawyers that take care of it. You want to play an adult game? Be prepared. Right? Ancillary, physical threats. I'm from the streets. Oh God, I'm shaking. Dude, I was a professional boxer. I'm 45. We handle things differently as adults. Right? Apparently some people are still stuck in high school. That's it. That's the last thing I'm really going to say about it, other than don't believe the shit that you're hearing from other people. That's all I can tell you. What you've seen from me for the last 2 years is who I am. This stuff between yesterday and today is not who I am. But I've never shown anybody a bad side of me because I typically don't have one. Usually pretty cool, calm, collected. But if you do piss me off and I feel like I have to protect myself or my family, that's different, man. That's different. You don't want to poke the bear enough to have him wake up. So I'm just going to have to put it to bed. I've been, look, I gave people a very long leash to just see if they would shut the hell up. Right? And while you give them a leash, you collect receipts. And then when they don't shut up and they don't apologize, I mean, they were given an opportunity to apologize once. They laughed at it. If you don't apologize now, then it gets real, right? Then it gets real. But I'm not stupid. The reason why people talk crap is because, one, they think that they're the best at what they do. And they say that all the time, that they're the best. Look, I don't think I'm the best at what I do. I know I'm not. I know that there's 129 million channels that came out before mine. There's people that have done what I've done, said what I've said, been there, done that millions of times. Same for you. You're not the best. But you think you are, and you're going to tell people that over and over and over. It don't matter, right? So there's people that are going to join YouTube right now today that are going to be better than this channel ever will be. Good for them. I don't do this full time. Right? I do other things. So if I wanted to do it full time, that's a different story. It's a different story. What was that, Snoopy? What did I miss this morning? Mac. What is that? I'm not the best, Stain. I'm not. I'm anything but. You know, it's tiring. So I just did a bunch of cussing and swearing on a channel that I try not to. I try not to do that stuff. You know, we always try to keep it, pretty clean up in here, but it gets irritating, man. It does. You all you want to do is just go out and have fun and hang out with people, meet people, do things. Bees, tell me when. Where did that happen? When did it happen? If you want to apologize to somebody, the thing is like I'm blocked from all of their stuff. So you want to apologize, then pick up the phone, get my phone number. So I would like to know when it happened, how it happened, because apologizing to somebody when it's not to them is exactly that, hollow words. It's hollow words. Call me, text me, email me. My freaking email's everywhere out on the show all the time. That's the whole thing right there, Snoopy. You got it right there. I'm giving that option. That's the option. That is the option. And if that don't happen, then see, because the thing is this: when you cause irreparable harm to somebody, and like I said, don't mistake kindness for weakness. Don't mistake my silence for weakness. When you cause irreparable harm, you've infected a fan base, right? So now when people see you, they may react differently than what they would have before, right? Or, people unsubscribing or people not subscribing, you name it. Like the things that I seen this morning in the live chat, when I made one comment about something, I don't know, then people started running their mouth, and I could tell or running their keyboards, I should say. I could tell by the things that they were saying that was coming directly from a certain channel, because it's the same thing that they have said. And so I'm not saying I am this, I'm just saying that this is what happens. When you are an influencer, if you're a positive influencer or a negative influencer on somebody, if you put an impression upon somebody's mind, and if someone has built trust, over time, right? If they believe in some of the things that you say, and then they start saying a bunch of stuff about somebody, what do you think that those people are going to believe? You see how that works? So I'll just put it out there. What if you have 50,000 subscribers in a niche market? Okay. And let's say 50,000 is one of the bigger channels out there for that niche market. And then there's a person that has 5,000 subscribers, and you're trashing that 5,000 subscriber channel over and over and over again. How many of those 50,000 subscribers that probably would normally consume all of the different channels about that niche market do you think would then subscribe? Hardly any. That's why the individual does it. Because I was the fastest growing channel in Lions content over the last 5 years or 3 years, whatever it was. You could see it. You could see the stats on what the hell is that website called? Something Blade that I always check it out. I got it pinned. Social Blade. You could see the stats. You could see when, if you pay for the premium, you could see how fast channels rise, right? And then you could compare the niche markets to identical channels. And mine was, it was a straight climb for a minute there. And, matter of fact, I won't even get into that. But you get the point that I'm trying to make. There's a reason why people do it. That sounds good, Major. Yeah, Joseph, just reach out, man, whenever you want. No, I hear you, Bees. Which show are you talking about? Like, are you talking about today? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, I got you. I see it now. Well, if he did, then, hey, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Exactly what it's all about. And I have no problem with that. And we can handle it. It's that simple. You know, what's crazy is I reached out to that dude a long time ago when I first started doing this because I respected his work and asked him to go to dinner. I said, hey, I just want to learn a few things. I don't know anything. Right? I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to, to get into that locker room someday. And that's the kind of person I am, right? I reached out to people. Slowly, but I did. Because I'm the type of person that likes, want to reach out, work with everybody. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't help you to, to be solo. If you want to be solo your whole life, I mean, it's a very lonely position to be in. Now, it is very lonely at the top to be a very successful person in this world. It's very lonely because the type of people you hang with, if they don't have your same energy, they're going to drag you down, right? If they have more energy than you, they're going to help put some more wind in your sails and carry you up. That's why the billionaires that, I listen to will always tell you it's lonely at the top. But in this space, like, come on, ain't nobody a billionaire, right? Ain't nobody a decamillionaire in this space. There's no reason to be alone. Collaboration works way better. And like I said the other day, I don't know if it was this morning or last night, our fan base is great. Like, one of the best fan bases, if not the best fan base out of the entire NFL. And when I go and look around at other content creators, like from time to time, like especially during game week, I'll go out and listen to a couple of different podcasts, and I'll try to get as many as I can to try to learn about the other team. And what I see is a lot of them working together. And the reason why they do that is because they're trying to show good faith to their fan base. They care, and they're together, and they're trying to put as much stuff out there to be better than the rest of the fan bases, to be better than the rest of the channels that are doing the same thing. And we don't do that, apparently, here in for the Detroit Lions. Very few people collaborate. The other thing too is that you see is a lot of relationships fail. I didn't break any relationship with anybody. Nobody. Andy had a stroke. You guys remember that? When Andy first started with me, he had a stroke. He was my partner. He was someone that was, going to help start this. And, he didn't know all the X's and O's. He didn't know anything about podcasting, but he was going to give it his best, and so was I. And it was only going to be a couple of days a week until we got really rolling. It was a ramp-up period. He had a stroke. So I was solo for a long time. Channel took off. And I did ask a certain individual for, help on certain things. And that individual in the very beginning was standoffish, but then slightly helpful with a few things. But let's not kid yourselves. 18-hour days is what I put in for everything that I have going on in my life. 18 plus. There's some days I get 3 hours of sleep. This last year, you can tell that I took a lot of time off because I needed to. I had to. This year, I wanted to get right back into it and go a little bit deeper. But this channel stayed very successful. Very, very, with me doing minimal work, very successful. The other 9 channels took off. And I can't tell you what they are. You got to find them on your own. Most of them aren't even sports related. A couple of them are. But I was monetizing a channel in like a week when I started the other channels. Like in a week, it was crazy. It's because I learned some things, right? I haven't applied it all, but I've learned some things. Now it's just having time. It's just having a team that can do all the things that I can't do. That's the biggest hurdle. When you're spread so thin. Because I got so many other things that I do. You know what's crazy? Like I see that until I see your message in there. I thought that when all of the edge were gone and now Micah's gone, that we would probably hear the last of it. We probably won't. And again, it's not like, see, I think people take it as like me versus them. It's not. I got my opinion because I feel a certain way about the pulse of the team. I've said that to you guys numerous times. And sometimes it sucks being right because people want to dog you about it. I just don't understand it. You know, I'm good at certain things. Other people are way better at other things. Some of the other channels, you know, in this space do some really good stuff. Really and very consistent good stuff. You know, Crunch Time on Twitter is persistently consistent. And that's one of my phrases, man, being persistently consistent, and does a great job on Twitter. I suck on Twitter. I hate Twitter. But I know it's also part of the process. I used to do nothing but Facebook, and now I can't stand Facebook. It's so bad. It's so bad. Big shout out to you, Kevin Barr, dropping out the upgraded membership, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you doing that. So anyway, let's do this, man. 7:42. By this weekend, I'm hoping to get this thing figured out. I was going to drop in, there's another outlet on the back of this Roadcaster. It has 2 USBs in it that I think the second one I can plug a phone in. I tried doing the Bluetooth, and I just couldn't tell if it was working because it sounded so far away, and this thing has so many routing options on it. It is so hard to figure out what's what. Like when your mic's going, but yet your mic's not even turned on. Like, that's just nuts to me. Something's not routed right. But anyway, oh shit, Stain Vision, what are you doing, man? That's huge, dude. You don't have to do all that. But I appreciate it. It's going to go to a good place. You know it will. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate your message. And I appreciate your support. I really do. Thank you for the $99.99. That's awesome. It's awesome, man. Big heart. Huge heart from you. Let me see if I can find you something better. Oh, you know what we haven't played in a while? Indulge me so we can just change the tune literally. Because I can't end like this. We haven't heard this in a while.
Yeah. On my phone was Peyton Manning. He said, Jeff, I feel your pain. Will you join me in exorcising the curse of Bobby Lane? Just like that, we started winning. Just like that, we were playoff bound. Just like that, way up in heaven, Bobby Lane turned around. Say goodbye to all that sorrow. Say goodbye to all that pain. Say goodbye to the same old lion and the curse of Bobby Lane. Everybody say goodbye. Say goodbye to all that pain. Say goodbye to the same old life and the curse of Bobby Lane.
Classic. That's never going away, man. Never going away. Who would have thought that Jeff Daniels? I watched a special on Jeff Daniels a couple weeks ago. It was an interview, and I forget the lady that does the interview because my memory is for crap. But he was saying he didn't know how to do Dumber and Dumber because he didn't know how to be that dumb to do the act. And further into the conversation, she was like, well, how did you do it then? Like, what did you do? And it was a cue, and I can't remember what the cue was. It might have been the producer. Can't remember the producer's name, but would say, "Hey, Jeff," or something like that, or "Hey, whatever," and he would tilt his head and go, "Huh?" You know what I mean? He'd cross his eye, "Huh?" and he'd start going into it. And he said that was the cue. That was it. That's all I needed. It was that subtle. That subtle little lift in energy, and he was able to go into it. It makes me want to go back and watch that movie. I probably haven't watched it since it probably damn near came out, or within the first few years of it coming out. That's fun stuff, man. Jeff Daniels, man, he's been here. He's been in Michigan his whole acting career, and in that interview, he said that too, that he felt his roots were here, obviously being a Lions fan, all that good stuff. But when he would go to Hollywood, and that's what you want to feel when you go to work, but when he would go to Hollywood, go do his movies, go on a set, it would be all brand new to him, you know, and the feeling would be there and the energy would be there because he wasn't living there. He wasn't living out there in that, you know, I don't remember the terms he used, but I think we all understand that LA is kind of a big cesspool, right? It's just too much going on. So it's kind of the same with this. It's kind of the same with anything that you do. You want to wake up and have energy, right? You want to feel good about what you do. And that's why the truth, the transparency, the honesty, all that good stuff, that's what we try to do, right? I'll never be perfect. I will always make some mistakes at some point. And that's being human, but it's never intentional and it's never clickbait. That's the thing. I want to get you to click. I want you to watch. I want you to have fun. I want you to be engaged. I want you to understand, you know, what I'm trying to put out there. A lot of it's my views and a lot of it is also fact, you know, and stats and analytics, and it can be a little dry at times, but mostly I think you're going to get some really good information from, that's how I feel. You're going to get really good information by watching that video. You're going to be hopefully smarter about a topic, you know. And again, I won't get it all right. I won't. But I'm not going to get up here and just put on a show. Like we got to have fun and laugh, you know. And I think that was the difference when Corey was here for a few weeks. Was he had a different energy. It was just a different way of talking. And that's probably the most important thing about collaboration that I think really pays off, you know, for everyone. But like, even like a channel like Crunch Time, you have 3, you know, or 4, I think it's 4 different guys, maybe 5, I don't know, but 3 primarily that feed a different energy, right? So when you have Eric, totally different energy than me, right? Riley, different energy yet, even more reserved, a little more subtle, different takes, different verbiage. And so when you have all 3 and you get a perspective, it draws the best out of you. And that's what collaboration is supposed to be about. And that's why I try to reach out and talk to other people. You guys have noticed it, I'm sure, or you've seen the way I interact with certain guests or interviews, but mostly guests. You'll see it's a much different conversation. It's a much different conversation because I have to keep up my energy and keep my wits about me and hope that I'm having a good day, you know, medically, because if I'm not, then it's not easy, but that's what it's all about to me. And I don't want it to change from that. Tilda just had a question in the chat. Will, which offensive lineman is most important to protect Goff? That is easy for me to answer. But at the same time, I don't know if we have the answer yet. But the left side of the line is always the most important. Your left tackle is always the most important for a right-handed quarterback. If it's a left-handed quarterback, it's your right tackle, right? The blind side, whatever Jared Goff can't see. But I'm going to give you a different answer. And I'm going to tell you that most important person this year is Graham Glasgow. Because if Graham Glasgow can't keep the pressure off of Goff and it's coming straight up the middle, we're in trouble. That's where Goff fails the most. If you really pay attention this year, which we will, Goff has the most difficulty with pressure in his face. When it's pressure from the outside, he doesn't have as much trouble unless he starts to scramble and the pocket really collapses, which that maybe happens 8 times a year. But it's the pressure up the middle that I believe is going to be the biggest factor for Jared Goff this year. Why? You got a rookie right guard, you've got a second-year left guard, and you've got a veteran center that maybe doesn't have his best football in him anymore, but he's going to give you everything he has. So that's my answer. Parsons a non-factor. All right, any final questions? I'll be on for another 5 minutes max. I want to get out of here by 8. I guess a bigger question, let me ask you guys this, and Attila too, is, overall, how do we think our offensive line is going to perform? Right? That's the biggest question. John Doe says, can we win the Super Bowl this year or next year and get over the playoffs? John, does that mean move past the playoffs and finally into the Super Bowl? Yes, I think we can. And I think we will. You know, if you heard Penei Sewell the other day, which that's why I want to try to get off so I can clip some things. Penei Sewell said very definitively when he was talking to Saint the other day that Saint, you know, that we're trying to do something different this year, right? And in what we're up against. Sewell's got a different mentality, I think, this season. They know that this is the first time that I think that we're going to see these guys. This is the first time that we're going to see these guys actually Super Bowl or bust is on their mind. Now they're going to take it week to week, right? Week to week. They're not going to get too far ahead. I think it's crazy when you hear some of the guys on the team say they don't even know what the schedule is. They don't know who we're playing in week 2 or 3. I think they're full of it. I think they know what the schedule is. But the meaning behind that is they're not going to get too far ahead because it's 1 week at a time. It's you put one down, you pick one up, you put one down, you pick it up. You got to keep doing that week by week by week by week. If you start thinking too far ahead, man, you're going to get lost in your own sauce. So with these guys finally having this mindset that it has to be Super Bowl, and quite honestly, it has to be now. It has to be. Never again are you going to have Jahmyr Gibbs in his 3rd year, right? Jared Goff in his prime. Like, he is in his prime. He's playing the best football he's ever played. Penei Sewell's in his prime. Taylor Decker's about out of his prime. Graham Glasgow's about out of his prime too, right? He's a little over the edge. Aiden Hutchinson is entering what could be a prime year for him. It could be, like just like I was talking about with Trey Hendrickson and Za'Darius Smith the other day, that 3rd and 4th year, right? Both of those guys did not have stellar beginning seasons to their career. And quite honestly, it took a team change for Trey Hendrickson to take off. So for Aiden getting into that same year as those guys, which is, going to be year 4 next year, I think this is the time. Aiden started out with in 2022, 52 combined tackles, 18 assists, 9.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, which that was nuts in his rookie year. I still think it's crazy how he baited Justin Fields. It was Justin Fields, right? He baited Justin Fields on the sideline. He ran up, picked that ball off. It was Justin, wasn't it? Or was it the Packer game? I think it was Justin. Oh, Joseph. Yeah. Didn't you see me? It was these blue ones, right? That you're talking about. These are some cheap glasses, and I only bought them because they're blue. And they're like this rubbery. I mean, it's like a rubbery plastic. They're $25, and they're at Dick's. They're called Gooder. Goodr. They're also on Amazon. Goodr. They're great, man. They're especially for me because I lose $200 pair of glasses all the time, or I break them, or I scratch them. So I always rock the cheapies as much as I can. And if I'm actually out doing something and I want a better pair of shades on, then I'll wear those, the better ones. But gas station shades are the best. You're not lying, dude. I've actually, in a pinch, when I'm going like tubing or something, I used to go tubing down the river, and I would always lose my glasses on the first run or something. I have to go get some new ones. And they always seem to be the best. They always stayed on the face the best. If I was smart, I would just buy a lanyard, right? Snoopy Lion, that's a great statement. I think we forgot how devastating our defense was through week 5 last year. They were devastating. But going back to Aiden, so, in year 2, you guys know this, 11.5 sacks. Last year, I'm not going to mince words. I love Aiden, but that I got to be me. I expect a lot out of Aiden because he was a number 2 overall pick. I expect a ton out of Aiden. And he's done nothing but grow. I mean, Aiden is... Just listen to Panay Sewell, man, on the pod with St. Brown. Aiden is just a problem. He's a problem for everybody. And I just want to see him play clean ball this year and not... He's going to be so energized to get out there and smash somebody. I just want him to play contained and smart defense, man. Just play smart. You don't need to shoot for 25 sacks or 22 sacks. Like, it's not needed. If you get them, you get them. Just finish the play and win. That's the only thing that matters is the W. Nothing else matters. Nobody will ever remember you. Nobody will ever remember you for having 5 sacks in a game or 12 sacks in a year. Or 16, 17, 18, 19 sacks in a year. No one's ever going to remember that. What they will remember is when you win a Super Bowl. And then when you win a Super Bowl, they're going to remember that game that you had 18 sacks, that year. Or 5 sacks in that game. That's when they'll remember. Because as Lions fans and everybody else in the NFL is going to say, man, do you remember that year that the Lions won the Super Bowl and Aiden in week 2 took Caleb Williams down 4 times? That's when the Lions shot off into the sunset that year in 2025. That's when they're going to remember. Yeah, Peter, man, is that crazy? Is that crazy or what? What, Snoopy? What kind of glasses are $1,600? What am I missing? Not that I would ever spend that. I have a hard enough time trying to buy these new AR glasses that Eric told me about the other day. I want to get the ones that have the cameras in it. Peter, we done spoke about Parsons in the first hour for a while. But yeah, so to back up, when he says, are we paying Aiden $50 million? That's what I started with. That's what I led with, was Aiden's going to end up getting $50 million. I don't think so. God, I hope they figure something out, because that salary cap needs to go up to 325 next year. It really does. Hold on, I just missed something. J-Rod. Joseph, Will, do you think if he got down to the wire and he was getting ready to go towards Super Bowl and our center got hurt, do you think Frank Ragnow would come out of retirement for that? I kind of asked that question the other day. I don't know, man. I don't know, because if you listen to Penny when Saint asked him, have you talked to Frank? He said no. Not in a bad way, right? He said no because he just wants Frank to enjoy Frank, Frank to enjoy retirement, if you will. And I'm sure it hurts like hell for Panay and everybody else that Frank is gone. You know what he said, and again, this is why I want to highlight it in the morning tomorrow, is he was talking about Frank being the engine, right? Or the motor, whatever he said, and how smart Frank was. You'll have to hear about it tomorrow morning, because I can't remember everything that they spoke about, but I'm going to clip it, because we knew Frank was important, but after hearing this, it just put Frank at a different level. And I don't know if we're ever going to have a center like that. I really don't. What I do know is this, that Tate Ratledge did not want to play center anymore. That came out, that he felt that he wasn't any good. He didn't want to play center. He felt that he sucked at it. So that door may be closed. I do know that, the NFL coaches and the players, they come in to play their position, right? And obviously if a coach asks you to do something because the team needs it, you're probably going to think about doing it. Some of the guys will probably do it, or at least try. And then there's some that just won't. Nah, not for me. Sorry. They don't have to. And I don't know why, or I don't know how that works. As far as when you're brought in, does your contract say that you only have to play your position and that you don't have to play any other position? See, I don't know that. I don't know that dynamic between coach and player, because often we hear guys filling in, playing guard, playing center, playing tackle, or all 5 positions in 1 year. It'll happen. Again, a lot of guys will probably fill in. But I think from what I read, Tate was like, yeah, I'm not doing good. I don't want to play center anymore. Maybe that changes next year. Maybe. And hopefully what I read was accurate, right? I'll have to find that too. Yeah, he wasn't comfortable, Bees. That's more like it. He wasn't comfortable. What did he say, Snoop? Said he gave you, St. Brown gave you some love on the podcast, man. That's great. Said he gave you positive feedback on my Sewell feedback to his interview last night. You know, as soon as the Parsons stuff dropped, man, I bought this new belt and it's just digging me. Glover Quinn, he puts out on Twitter, he's like, things just got interesting. And I responded, man, Sewell got it. Sewell got it. No, or I said, Panay got it. Don't worry. Panay got it. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a real fun year. Yeah, that interview was good. What I did notice about the last few St. Brown podcasts that I've watched is they're doing a lot of different cutting. At least I haven't watched all of them, but they're doing some cutting now just to St. Brown, no matter if he's with his brother and he's asking the question. And I don't know if that's a retape or a retake or whatever. But it just didn't. I don't know. I feel like Saint he's so monotone. Like sometimes he just doesn't give the energy in the question. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's good at what he does, obviously, but I didn't feel the energy in the question. It was a great interview, though. All right, Kevin, man. Have a good night. I got to get out of here, too, to be honest. It's already after 8. I was supposed to get off a long time ago. So that's it. Mailbag. There was one other question here I don't think I got to, though. And let me find it. I don't want to leave without getting to it. And I don't even know if she's in here tonight. Ooh, All 22 just sent me some goodies. Thank you. Here it is. Oh, I did answer it. Never mind. I did answer it. All right, tomorrow's a better day. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's Friday, which means this is the last weekend without NFL regular season is this weekend. Sunday, if you join the fantasy leagues, we're drafting on Sunday. There'll be one at noon. There'll be one at 1. And if you're going to get into the pay leagues, we got to get that done this weekend. $60 and $100 if you want to get into the Rockhound Cancer Foundation one. It's $25 or more, whatever you want to donate, but it's a minimum of 25. There's only 9 spots left. But you got to email me or you have to DM me on Twitter at Will Rock Jr. on Twitter so that we can get it all taken care of. I don't think there's anything else really to go over right now. What is this? Yeah. Crazy. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. I got to get to clipping some video. You guys take care. Probably go Detroit Lions, man. Stay well.